So we will start with David.
Thank you. Great. Hello, everyone. So I guess what one of the things that my research group has done is we've looked at what is the link between social media data, or big data in general, and people's psychology. So one of the things we published back in 2013 was taking people's Facebook likes, so something that people click on without thinking too much about it, and showing that these things predict some very, very sensitive information, such as people's personality, IQ, political views, religious views, etc., etc. Lots of really personal things about people. As I say, they're just clicking, they're not realizing what this information might mean. So then, before even this was published, we were wondering, well, okay, you can predict someone's personality. What's the next step? So is that effective in practice? So we started working with an advertiser, nothing to do with politics. This is in the area of cosmetics, to measure whether, if you do personalize an advert to someone's personality, is it more effective than just a generic advert? So when you hear about, psychological micro-targeting, this is the kind of thing that it looks like in practice. So on the left, you've got an advert for high extroversion, so cosmetics for an extrovert. So dance like no one's watching, dance like a crazy person, but they totally are, so you're the center of attention, everyone's looking at you. And then on the right, beauty doesn't have to shout, aimed at introverts. A woman looking in a mirror, it's about her opinion of herself, it's not about what anyone else would think. So we put these on Facebook. We targeted them at people who liked things that suggested they were either extroverts or introverts. So we did both. We went for the matching and the mismatching. And this is the results in terms of conversion, so the number of clicks and the return on investment for the company. And I won't go into the full detail, but the gist is when you target adverts correctly to introverts, you're getting about 35% more clicks and 36% more purchases. And for the extroverts, it was 80%. Okay, so spending your budget and thinking about who your audience is and then targeting to that audience is more effective. Two things I want to point out. Number one, this isn't magic. It's someone thinking about who is my audience and what might motivate them. And second of all, it's not so, this isn't 10,000%. It's, up to 80%. So if you're spending a lot of money on adverts, then this is money worth having in terms of return on investment. But it's not the case that you could spend a very small amount and convince, a huge amount of people to do something that they wouldn't have done otherwise. Okay. So then we're on to, well, is this a bad thing? And I think it depends. So, I go to Amazon when I want to buy a new book because Amazon knows the things I bought in the past and they can recommend things that match, my interests. So I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing to understand customers and to personalize things for them. When it is a bad thing is, as was mentioned earlier, it's when people don't feel like it's transparent. So when they don't understand what is happening, therefore they don't have any control over the process, and therefore they don't know whether it benefits them or someone else. So I think a good step forward was taken by the likes of Facebook and Twitter here by creating the political ads archive back in around September, October, November last year. But I think this is still just the first step. So here's one example that was in the media in October in the UK. Someone had spent £250,000 on adverts, but even though that might have been in the list, that still doesn't tell us exactly who it was. It's just an organization that doesn't lead anywhere, and I believe that's being investigated. So transparency is a key part, and my view is that all adverts should be in these archives, not just political ones, because people are manipulated in all sorts of areas, getting them to invest their money or other things which are very, very high stakes, not just politics. Okay, so here's a technology that I think is very, very powerful. I happen to use Facebook here, but other online advertising platforms have similar technologies. So I'll very briefly cover these two. So one of them is custom audiences. So how does that work? Essentially, a company or an organization who has a list of people it wants to contact uploads that list to the advertising platform. The advertising platform matches that list of customers to people already on the platform, and then that organization can send adverts to those individuals on the social media platform, not via email or whatever it is. It starts appearing in their feeds. The next step is lookalike audience. So once you've got a custom audience, once you've got a set of customers uploaded, it will then find you similar customers based on all of the other data that is available on the platform. Okay, so, and this is, it can make sense. If I've got a set of customers, I want to find more people who are going to buy my product. So on the face of it, there's some, fair enough intuition behind it. I think the challenge is that it is open to abuse, in my opinion. So a company may upload a list of people that it wants to contact because they're good customers, and then lookalike will find me more customers. Or it could upload a list of extroverts, and then the platform would find me more extroverts. Okay, so in that case, it wouldn't be necessary to collect a huge data set of who's extroverted and who's introverted. You could collect a very small data set, and then the platform would find you more. Or, for example, parent. So, I may have never uploaded that I'm a parent, but because my activities are similar to other parents, then the platform could start sending me adverts, which the company is sort of aiming at parents. Okay. Last thing I want to say is that we've been talking a lot about manipulation of voters, but what about politicians? So as far as I can see, what stops an individual or an organization uploading a data set of politicians' contact details and then putting adverts into the stream that a politician is viewing? So it's not so different to lobbying in that you're sending someone a message. The difference is they don't realize that they are seeing this message that's been specifically targeted at them. Okay, thank you.
Thanks very much. Johnny.